guys? Welcome to DailyGray. I appreciate the lighting's a bit strange, but if I put this back, then that's hell in it. It's even worse. So, long story short, the road that I used to get out of Scarborough to Leicester is closed. So I've been on the road for 2 hours and 15 minutes and done about 40 minutes worth of my journey. It's currently 10 AM. No, 2.5 hours I've been on the road. 7:45 I set off, 7:45. Immensely pissed off by that. But we're going to Leicester, we're training, all is well. Back on the road again. Not been on the road for a few days now. Been a bit of a home bird. So it'll do me good to get back on the old road. Get some dogs worked. Don't know what the plan is today. We've got trials coming up in 18 days. So Khaleesi will definitely, and once again someone rings me in the middle of my video. Khaleesi will definitely be prepping for that. Flak might be prepping for that. We'll see how we go.
Yes, good boy. Good boy, Deuce. Good boy.
So Idiot Features has pulled his cone off again. Going to try and get him some sedatives at the vet. I think that's the only answer.
Good lad. Good boy. Good lad. Good lad. Good boy.
Hey! Hey!
Good lad. Good boy.
Hey!
Good lad. Good. Good boy. Minute, give him the sleeve just to take the edge
You can't get around this way, now. Do you want to go slow with him? On. It's that Michael Bublé song again, isn't it? Feeling good. Fuck. So, heading to the field with. I'm currently on a day session with Daniel and Luna. Those of you who've been watching the vlogs for a while will have remembered the last session we had with Luna. She's back. She's an IPO prospect dog. She's in training for that. We're going to do some tracking. We're going to do some OB. We're going to have a good day. It's a nice day for it. Sunny, the skies are blue, it's not freezing cold, 16 degrees, perfect dog training weather for me. Dogs would maybe like it a bit cooler. So yeah, we're just going to do some work with her. I have Flak and Khaleesi with me. Flak's still in his corner shame. I'm sick of fucking saying it now. What can you do? What can you do? So he's going to have to come out once and be taped back up. I have his tape with me. This is how I have to train my dog at the moment. I have to constantly carry a roll of duct tape, and look how much skinnier that roll of duct tape is getting. By the day, I'm getting less. I have to buy another roll. Peter put him on 10 days of steroids, 5 days of antibiotics again. The steroids, basically, for anyone who's got a dog with a hot spot or wet eczema. Wet eczema, by the way, ironically, has nothing to do with eczema. It's not the same as eczema that you would label on yourself or on your dog. Wet eczema is essentially a hotspot, an infected hotspot. So if you get that, the name of the medication escapes me right now, but basically the antibiotic will take the infection out. However, the vet said, gun to his head, he wouldn't be that bothered about an antibiotic, because although the infection looks nasty, very gunky, very yellow, smells, it's very superficial. They're very unlikely to get any further causes, you know, sepsis, septicemia, things like that. Gun to his head, he would pick the steroid every time. The steroid takes the itch out of the hotspot, which in turn stops the dog wanting to chew its pieces, which means it heals faster. The ideal world, you would shave the hotspot so there was no hair wicking any moisture, and you just let it heal 3 or 4 days, be good to go. Because I have a dickhead Rottweiler, A, we can't shave it, B, when he does get to it, he causes such a vast amount of damage, we go backwards another 3 or 4 days. So then it turns into 6 days. And then we get 2 days in, so 4 remaining, and we go back another 4. 8 days. We go 2 in, 6 days remaining, go back another 4. 10 days. And the cycle repeats. But we get out of it, it's just a matter of time, throwing money at the vet. So yeah, he's on a 10-day course of steroids now, just to keep this itch out for 10 full days. There'll be no itch, which means, in theory, you know, if he doesn't get to it, God forbid, I try everything I can, short of letting him live in a muzzle and a cone, which I don't really want to do, but if it comes to it, it comes to it. That's where we're at. This is tonight will be his 3rd day of steroids. So he had 1 the day before yesterday, 1 yesterday, he'll have 1 today. And then we'll see how we get on. It's definitely healing again, but they're not serious issues, they're just a fucking massive headache. If you left them, they wouldn't cause them any, you know, longevity issues. They're not going to go bad, they're not going to start eating under the dermis. It's just basically an infection of the dermis, infection and sores. But what happens, it feels like a burn because it's so open and so sore. So we just got to ride the wave. I compete in 2 weeks on Friday. 2 weeks on Friday is the start of the trial. I don't know which day I'm competing yet. So we've just got to ride the wave. Try. This competition, thankfully, is a charity trial. It's nothing big. It's nothing serious. Which means if he's not fit enough, which he's probably not going to be because he's almost completely on box rest, to try and keep him from scratching this hot spot, it's not a big deal. But we'll get him as prepared as we can get him. A couple more training sessions to do. away with the decoys. I think I'm going down to Wales next Tuesday and then Leicester next Sunday. We'll see how we get on. But it's been fun. Just got to enjoy the journey. What else am I doing currently? I'm trying to use this time. My time is so viciously limited at the moment. I'm trying to use this time while I'm driving productively. I've started module 2 of Foundational Canine Science, which starts with canine anatomy. I'm 1,500 words in, and I've still got a lot of topics to cover. So I'm writing that paper. I'm also 2 parts. This won't make sense. I'm not revealing this. I will reveal it when it's finished. I'm 2 parts in to the research paper that I'm publishing. So you'll be able to find that on either ajcs.org.uk, the Academic Journal of Canine Science, when it's finished, or on academia.edu, which is a huge academic journal of papers in various fields, dog training being one of them. So yeah, that's a paper. That'll be done in, I don't know, a couple of months probably. Not ages away, but that's coming up. So yeah, other than that, I'm trying to train the dogs for this trial. We're going to see Scott as much as we can. Like I say, I'm going to Wales next week, I think. What else? Writing the canine anatomy paper. Because in this course, I want there to be foundation will be a broad spectrum of things. So canine psychology, canine training, canine nutrition, canine anatomy. You know, all the sciences to do with dogs. Then in bachelor's, it'll be the same again, but in each year there'll be a personal research module where people can start getting into the nitty-gritty of what they want to do. You know, if you want to train, you want to be a trainer, if you are a trainer, you'll do a training module. Then there's masters, which is research-based, PhD, which is research-based. It's going very well. It's just, I said to you at the beginning, it's going to be a long-ass journey. So we're heading to the field. We'll get this day done. I enjoy training sessions like this when there's somebody here that doesn't just have a behavioural problem. And I say just has a behavioural problem. I understand that they're very serious for people, but I see them every single day of the week. They become very, very bread and butter type work. I enjoy advanced things more. So, you know, IPO obedience. He wants to start teaching an out today, so we'll get onto that. And we'll probably do some tracking as well. We might as well hit a little element of all 3 phases. He's got an IPO club, and he's doing very well with them. I'm obviously not an IPO trainer, but I train in the styles of IPO personally quite a lot. Do IPO tracking almost daily, IPO obedience almost daily. The only side I don't do is IPO protection, which is why I'm dealing with his obedience and protection, not his protection. Just not my game. I'd love it to be my game, and if IPO sorts itself out, definitely will be my game at some point. I will buy an IPO purpose dog. And we were going to send Flak down that line, but he doesn't like playing the game by the rules, so Wi-Fi genetics. Right, we're nearly at the field. Shit, that was 7.5, 8 minutes of waffle. We're nearly at the field. If you're still with me, congratulations. I'm going to train this dog. I'll try, desperately try, I'll probably forget, I always do. I'll try and get some footage of Luna and Daniel. I'll just put some music over it or something, just so you can watch her training, you know, see where she's at. awesome day with Daniel yesterday. It's now the day after what you've just seen. Forgot to film again. Bad at this. I'm on the way to the vets with Jack. So, currently we've got Flak in a cone because of this hotspot. However, that's healing really nicely since he's up to steroid dosage. Jack, however, has had an ongoing allergy for ages. I don't even know how long. He's fine for a while, not fine for a while, fine for a while. When I say not fine, he's just itchy. You know, there's no signs of redness on his skin, there's no signs of issues, there's no flakiness. There's nothing essentially, you know, physiologically wrong on the surface to look at. His skin's a bit oilier than most dogs, but nothing severe. So we've been to multiple vets with him. So he's now going to get an atopy test. Basically, an atopic allergy is the dog being allergic to something in the air, so something that they inhale. Very often, dust mites, you know, other types of mite. I'm obviously not a vet, it's not my game, but they're allergic to something that they inhale. Reacts in the lungs, causes reactions, like itchiness. So, Jack is going for this atopy test. If it is atopic, there's one injection that he can have that will tell us immediately if it is or not, because it will almost instantaneously reduce all the symptoms. If it's not atopic, we're going down a big old rabbit hole. If it is atopic, this injection will alleviate all symptoms for a while, and then obviously they'll come back. You can then put your dog on long-term steroids, which obviously has health implications. Any drug long-term's not as good as no drug. And then there's another option that's not a drug, that doesn't It doesn't have any long-term health issues, but it's expensive. Basically, an itch is two receptors in the brain next to each other. Within them receptors, an antibody comes and essentially makes you feel itchy. You can give a drug that blocks them receptors, stops them working. Basically sits a molecule, a particle in the middle and stops the itch. Stops the brain knowing what itchiness is, basically. So that will be the option I will probably go for. Said it's expensive, but it's just one of them, and it doesn't really matter how much it is. Because the dogs, innit, if you would never choose to pay less if your dog can have a better quality of life. Money becomes irrelevant at that point. The dog's quality of life always has to come first. And I get it, like we've been flat broke and had to rush my greyhound to the emergency vets years ago. Didn't know where we were finding that money, but you just find it. It's just, go on. Right, now I've got to get this van down an incredibly narrow street. It just fits. Oh, that was not as bad as I expected. The road that my vet's on, well, I go in the back entrance to my vet's, usually because I've got a working dog with me. The road I come down is just a little tiny alleyway. The front entrance is just busy, just people, cars, nowhere to park. Back entrance, I was parked right here next to my vet's car. So, let's go see what's wrong with Jack. He's just here, in his cone. Jackie, hi bud. Let's go see what's wrong with the dog. Right, so it's now the next day again. I'm going to end the vlog after this clip, so this is the end. Jack's diagnosis, the reason I didn't film on the way back was because I wanted to see what was going to happen. I'll explain in a minute, you'll understand. So, Peter said, the vet, he's almost definite that he's highly allergic to fleas. So even one flea bite or two flea bites could cause this reaction. The reason we didn't, even though we had fleas, was because the other dogs aren't susceptible to it at all. So, you know, we've got maybe one or two fleas, or 10 fleas in the whole house, and they're getting him and causing this problem. That's what he thinks. Obviously, we now have to test this theory to attach evidence and proof to it and move forward from there. So what happened was, I got advanced flea treatment for all the dogs, because generally we just keep the house clean and flea shampoo the dogs. Flea shampoo obviously kills the fleas on the dog, but not in the house. So then they end up back on the dog, which is why they get re-shampooed again. If we had a big flea infestation, then we would deal with the whole thing. But it's never been bad. We've never even noticed any of them have got them, to be honest. So they've all been Advantage flea treatmented. The two smaller dogs, Khaleesi and Jack, just goes on the back of their neck. The two bigger dogs, Spencer and Flak, goes on their neck, mid-back, base of tail. So basically then, because fleas are very active creatures, over 12 hours or so, all of them will pass through one of the areas where you dab the solution and die. On top of that, we got a prescription spray, which you spray all over the floor, kills the eggs, kills the fleas, any that are lurking around. And it's going to take a while for this to die down on Jack, obviously. He was given a steroid injection yesterday to take the inflammation out. He said it'll take 12 to 24 hours to work. His itching is a bit better, but not dramatically. So, really, it's just a waiting game now. Gave him the injection yesterday as sort of a welfare issue, you know, to take this itch out. And it has done a little bit, but not fully. But it depends how severe this reaction is. So, we think that's the answer. We hope that's the answer, because if it is, it's just going to be a case of being really, really OCD and OTT about flea treatments. So I'll just keep on them constantly, keep the house extra defleed, you know, more than usual. Like I say, if you've got a dog that doesn't affect them very badly, until they've got fleas, probably would never notice it. Lots of dogs just carry them around, doesn't bother them, they don't itch. It's one of them. One of them, part of having dogs, same as ticks. Dogs end up with ticks, it's just part and parcel. So you just deal with it accordingly. So that's where we're at the moment. I've just finished my client today. Morning session. Nothing booked in the afternoon. Wanted it for my dogs. So it's funny actually. When I write my calendar in, I book sessions for my own dogs. Because if I don't, they just get put by the wayside and other people's dogs become more important. Because it's my job, it's hard to integrate them into that sometimes. Obviously, if I've got clients in where my dogs can help the session, then I don't pencil them in because they get worked within that session. But today was one of them days where they were not getting out at all, so I chucked them in the van. We're going to the field. I'm going to go to an academy Facebook Live for the guys in there. If you're not in the academy yet, sort your life out. Why are you not in the academy? First month's free. Get yourself in, it's an absolute no-brainer. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. So, question of the day. Are you an academy member? If not, excuse me, I just burped. And again. Are you an academy member? Too much coffee. If not, why not? If yes, how are you finding it? What can we do to improve?